Top 10 prison escapes that shocked the world. They were told it was impossible. High walls, armed guards, razor wire that gleamed like a warning. Yet time and again, men have defied the odds, slipping through cracks in the world's most secure cages. These are not just stories of criminals. They are stories of obsession, ingenuity, and the terrifying reality that no prison is ever truly escape-proof. Today, we count down the top 10 prison escapes that shocked the world. But before we begin, ask yourself, if you were locked away for life, how far would you go to taste freedom again? Number 10, the Alcatraz escape, America's unsinkable mystery, 1962. June 11th, 1962. The night America's most notorious prison, Alcatraz, was proven fallible. For decades, the Rock was believed to be escape-proof. Surrounded by freezing waters, guarded by sharp currents, it was where the government sent the most unbreakable criminals. Yet 3 men would make history: Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers, Clarence and John. They spent months carving through concrete walls using sharpened spoons stolen from the mess hall. At night, they placed painted papier-mâché heads in their bunks, complete with hair stolen from the prison barber shop, to fool guards on bed checks. Then, using a makeshift raft pieced together from 50 stolen raincoats, they set out into the cold, black water of the San Francisco Bay and were never seen again. To this day, no bodies were ever recovered. The FBI declared them drowned, but rumors persist. Sightings in Brazil, letters allegedly written by the escapees. Some say they made it, others believe the ocean claimed them. What's certain is this: the Alcatraz escape shattered the myth of an unbreakable prison and became one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in criminal history. Number 9, the helicopter escape of Pascal Payet, France, 2001-2007, Mospris. Owners dream of freedom. Pascal Payet called in an airstrike. In 2001, the French gangster stunned the world when an accomplice hijacked a helicopter, flew it straight over the prison yard, and plucked him out in broad daylight. Guards, stunned, could only watch as the chopper lifted Payet to freedom. But Payet wasn't done. Years later, after being recaptured, he staged it again. Another hijacked helicopter, another daring daylight extraction. In fact, Pascal Payet escaped prison not once, not twice, but 3 separate times using helicopters, each time more audacious than the last. Eventually, he was recaptured for good, but Payet's name is forever etched into history as the man who turned prison breaks into Hollywood-style spectacles. The world watched, jaws dropped, as helicopters became his personal getaway car. Number 8, the Great Texas Prison Break, the Texas 7, 2000. December 13, 2000, 7 inmates at the John B. Connally unit in Texas executed one of the boldest and bloodiest escapes in American history. Later dubbed the Texas 7, they overpowered civilian workers and guards, stole uniforms, and armed themselves with weapons. Their escape sparked a nationwide manhunt that lasted over a month. During that time, they committed multiple robberies and even murdered a police officer, Aubrey Hawkins. Their story captured America's attention, not just because of their cunning, but because of their ruthlessness. Eventually, 6 of the 7 were captured. 1 took his own life before arrest. Today, the survivors sit on death row. The Texas 7 proved that even modern prisons could crumble under the weight of coordination, planning, and pure desperation. Number 7, the escape from Pretoria, South Africa, 1979. South Africa, 1979. The country was burning under apartheid. For 2 men, Tim Jenkin and Stephen Lee, prison wasn't just punishment, it was silencing. Both were anti-apartheid activists, arrested for distributing political pamphlets against the regime. Their sentence, years inside Pretoria Central Prison. But these men weren't just dissidents, they were dreamers of escape. Instead of despair, they turned to carpentry. Over months, Jenkins secretly carved wooden keys, precise replicas of the real ones. By memory, by trial, by sheer determination, Piece by piece, they built a full arsenal of handcrafted keys inside their cell. On December 11, 1979, they made their move. Door by door, lock by lock, the keys worked. They crept past sleeping guards through 9 locked gates, each one giving way to their homemade wooden tools. By dawn, they were free, vanishing into the streets of Pretoria. The escape was so ingenious, so audacious, that it later inspired the film Escape from Pretoria, starring Daniel Radcliffe. But the real legacy, Jenkin and Lee's flight, became a symbol of defiance against a brutal system, proof that even the strongest walls cannot contain the will of men fighting for freedom. Number 6, the Maze Prison Escape, Northern Ireland, 1983, September 25th, 1983, Northern Ireland. Maze Prison, the most secure facility in Europe. Its walls towered 18 feet high, capped with barbed wire. Inside were some of the most dangerous men of the Irish Republican Army, and yet on that night, 38 prisoners pulled off the largest jailbreak in British history. How? The plan was ruthless. The IRA smuggled in guns and knives. They seized control of H Block 7, taking guards hostage, disguising themselves in stolen uniforms. In broad daylight, they drove a hijacked food truck straight out of the gates. Guards, bound, gagged, terrified, were thrown into the back. In the chaos, one prison officer was stabbed to death. Dozens of guards were injured. The escape triggered one of the largest manhunts in British history. Some escapees were caught within days. Others vanished for years. A handful were never recaptured at all. The maze escape wasn't just a prison break. It was a political earthquake. Proof that even the most fortified walls couldn't contain the fires of war burning through Northern Ireland. Number 5, Joaquin El Chapo, Guzmán, Mexico's infamous drug lord, 2015. When you're the most powerful drug lord on earth, prison isn't a cage. It's a challenge. Joaquin El Chapo, Guzmán, leader of the Sinaloa cartel, was locked inside Altiplano, Mexico's most secure prison. But El Chapo had something most inmates didn't: billions of dollars, an army of loyal men, and absolute control of corruption. On July 11, 2015, El Chapo vanished from his cell. Guards opened the door and found nothing but silence. The truth? A mile-long tunnel had been dug directly under his shower stall. Equipped with ventilation, electricity, even a motorcycle on rails. A literal underground highway to freedom. The tunnel took over a year to build. Engineers secretly working for the cartel dug through solid earth, undetected, guided by GPS coordinates. When the time came, El Chapo simply stepped into his shower and vanished beneath the floor. It was the stuff of legend and humiliation. For Mexico's government, it was proof of corruption at the highest levels. For the world, it was a reminder that money, power, and fear can bend even the strongest prison bars. Number 4, the escape of Richard Lee McNair, the man who mailed himself out, 2000. Some men dig tunnels, some hijack helicopters. Richard Lee McNair, he mailed himself to freedom. In 2006, while serving a life sentence for murder, McNair worked in the prison mailroom. There, he devised a plan so bizarre, it sounded like a movie script. He built a hidden compartment inside a pallet of mailbags, crawled inside, sealed it shut. Hours later, forklifts carried the pallet out of the prison, loaded it onto a truck, and drove him straight past the walls of the North Dakota State Penitentiary. He wasn't caught right away either. McNair evaded authorities for more than a year, traveling across the U.S. and Canada. He became known as the Houdini of prison breaks. Eventually, after a high-profile manhunt, he was captured again. But his legend lives on as the man who literally mailed himself to freedom. Number 3, the Sobibór escape, the uprising against the Nazis, 1943. October 14th, 1943. Sobibór, a Nazi extermination camp in occupied Poland, built not to hold prisoners, but to erase them. Thousands were killed here every week. Yet inside this nightmare, one of history's most extraordinary prison breaks would take place. Led by Soviet POW Alexander Pechersky, prisoners plotted a revolt. Their plan was simple but deadly. Lure guards into workshops one by one, kill them silently, and seize their weapons. Over weeks, axes and knives were hidden. A secret network of courage formed. On that day, the revolt began. Guards were ambushed. Axes split skulls. Knives pierced throats. Panic spread through the camp as gunfire erupted. Amid the chaos, hundreds of prisoners stormed the fences, some blown apart by landmines, others gunned down by machine fire, but more than 300 made it into the forests. Only about 50 survived the war. The Sobibór escape wasn't just about freedom. It was resistance against annihilation, proof that even in the darkest depths of human cruelty, the will to fight back could not be extinguished. Number 2, The Great Escape. Stalag Luft III, Germany, 1944. March 24, 1944. World War II. Stalag Luft III, a German prisoner of war camp, was considered escape-proof. The Nazis had built it specifically to contain captured Allied airmen. But the prisoners inside had other plans. They were soldiers, trained, disciplined, relentless, and together they launched what would be called the Great Escape. Over a year, they dug 3 massive tunnels, using tin cans as shovels, wooden bed planks as support beams, hidden ventilation systems made from stolen milk cans. They even built carts to slide dirt out like miniature trains. Everything, forged documents, civilian clothes, maps, was crafted in secret. On the night of March 24th, 76 men slipped through the tunnel named Harry. One by one, they crawled 30 feet beneath the earth, emerging into snowy woods beyond the wire. Only 3 made it to freedom. The rest were captured. In a war crime that shocked the world, Hitler ordered 50 of them executed. Their sacrifice became legendary, immortalized in books and film. The Great Escape was more than a prison break. It was a testament to courage in the face of impossible odds. Number 1, The Escape from Dannemora, New York, USA, Traditin. At number 1, a prison break so audacious it gripped the modern world in real time. June 6, 2015. Clinton Correctional Facility in Dannemora, New York. 2 convicted murderers, Richard Matt and David Sweat, vanished from their cells. What followed was a manhunt that paralyzed an entire state. For weeks, they had been cutting through their cell walls with stolen tools. Behind their bunks, they created a hidden labyrinth, squeezing through steam pipes, twisting through tunnels, until they reached the outside. But here's the twist. They didn't do it alone. A prison employee, Joyce Mitchell, had been seduced by the inmates. She smuggled in hacksaw blades hidden in meat, provided crucial intel, and planned to drive them to freedom. In the end, her nerves failed, and she backed out at the last second. For 3 weeks, New York State was on lockdown. Over 1,500 officers scoured the wilderness. Schools closed. Residents slept with rifles by their doors. The fugitives became folk legends, hunted yet admired for their ingenuity. Matt was shot and killed. Sweat was captured after being shot twice. Joyce Mitchell was sentenced to prison, and the Dannemora escape became a cautionary tale of manipulation, obsession, and how even the tightest security can unravel from within. Closing sequence. From the depths of Nazi death camps to the concrete cages of modern America, one truth remains. Prisons are designed to break men, but some men will risk everything to break prisons instead. These escapes shocked the world, not just for their daring, but for what they revealed. That no wall is too high, no system too strong, and that the human hunger for freedom will always find a way